you haven't had a chance, there might be a few people who come in and maybe don't have a flower, so please come up. Having a flower is part and parcel of the service is about today. Make sure everybody has one to the end. And we're trying to get this to the city, and we've got a prelude with our chorus. think that music was just perfect for today's service. My name is Tim McGaughey. I'm going to be your service associate today, and since I'm going to tell everybody, I'm going to demonstrate how you have to turn your phones off so that at least you won't interrupt anything here. Let's see, okay, let me get that done here. There we go, okay. This, and by the way, for those of you who are at home, if you would like to participate, and we think that this is something you can do, if you would like to go turn this off for a moment and go home and or go outside, pick a flower, or have one that you can use for the purposes of the service, you, I think, will find that a nice thing to do. We are a welcoming congregation, whoever you are, however you identify, wherever you come from, whoever you love, you are welcome here. And our Sunday services are different each week. We typically have, because we're lay-led, ideas from all over, from people who participated, who've come to us, or that we have special interest. But today is one of our special ceremonies, and for me, it's one of the nicest ones that we have. It's a great chance to see, to feel the truth of what we try to do and to be. We're going to start today by having the chalice lighting. And for Unitarian Universalists, the flaming chalice is a symbol of the light of learning and the love of our community. Thank you, Dell. And we would like to have you join us in singing hymn number 362, Rise Up, O Flame. The words are up here on the wall. Like now to read. We generally have begun a practice, which I think is very nice, for us to read parts of our principles. Today I wanted to really concentrate on the first three because I think they underlie so much of what this service is about and what the whole flower ceremony is about. And I will read the first paragraph up there, and you'll see then the words written in italic, if you would read with me. As Unitarian Universalists, we base our faith on a set of principles that we agree to affirm and promote. The first three principles are the inherent worth and dignity of every person, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, acceptance of one another, and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregation. Thank you. Those words, I think, by the end of the service, I'm hoping will take on a new meaning. Now, we have any children here in terms of going? If we would join and sing hymn number 413 as they go.
Everywhere,
get my place here. We are going to have our first reading today, and that is going to be done by Roxanne Spencer.
Tell all the truth, but tell it slant. Success in circuit lies. Too bright for our infirm delight, the truth's superb surprise. As lightning to the children, eased with explanation kind, the truth must dazzle gradually, or every man be blind.
And we will have our first song. This is going to be found in the gray hymnal. It's hymn number 65, Sweet June Days, led by Forrest. Now we are going into our well, they moved this around. We are actually going to have our silence and meditation. Now, normally, as most of you know, we like people to meditate in the way that they will find the most responsive. But for today, I'd like to use the time to have you meditate on some of the questions. What is that flower that you're holding? Obviously, it's a plant, it's but flowers have a long tradition of having a language written about them. The Victorians made quite a profession on doing that. You could send whole messages without having to make sure that they read it in the same order. So what I'd like you to do is to think, what does this flower represent in you? What in this flower do you want to bring to our community, a community to make it better, to bring it into a beloved community. And what in this flower do you want to receive from this community? With the singing bowl, I want you to think about that. We are going to now move more formally into the flower ceremony. Before we do, I wanted to share just a few thoughts with you because I happen to be looking for poems or things that we could read that would be associated, sort of the usual job of the service associate. And I ran across that Emily Dickinson poem. And at first I sort of read it and then didn't really pay much attention. And then I went back and I thought, oh, there's something here. And then I read it again and I thought, my gosh, that's what this service is. It's all the truth, but we have to tell it scant. We don't want to be blinded by the truth, which, as we know from certainly from traditional rules, you cannot lay your eyes on. Certainly, if you think of the truth as perhaps being God, then you can't lay your eyes directly, but you can see it as a burning bush or as a circle in the earth or as something that's really, really good. So that's what I thought was really, really good. And I thought, well, let's see what we can do. So what we're going to do is, you've had a chance to think about what this flower can mean. Sounds like sort of a silly exercise, but I think it's considerable, considering how varied the plants are. And what we're going to do is, when we bring our gatherers up here to the table, we're going to ask all of you who would like to bring your flowers up and give it to the two gentlemen who will be here, and our two ladies will be helping to put these together, because these flowers represent us. They're who we are. They're a way, as a matter, just think of the truth, but the scant truth. And these that perhaps have not had any owners put them there are other people in the community. So often what we put out into that community, maybe it's an act of kindness that you were inspired by, comes to someone else as understanding, or maybe it was a funny episode and you laughed about and you could share that with somebody. So the interactions here of what those flowers mean can be multiple. So what I'd like to do is now ask the gatherers to come up. We've got Dale Hudson, and we've got Adam, and we have Rhonda, and we have Jeff here. And they're going to, once the music starts playing, we will be able to come. Please step. so much. Debussy is just perfect for today. It's how wonderful. Well, in getting ready for this service, and I thought, well, okay, what do I have to do, and so forth. And one of the things I have lived long enough to find is that wisdom shows up in very unusual places. And let's see, make sure I'm on this right slide. Let's see, this is the slide that was going to be on when the others, while we were bringing the flowers up, but let me catch up here. Enjoy the little floral show here. Okay, now we're ready to go. So I decided that I would need something, and I thought, well, I want to put something that I can put the service around, make more sense. It'll stick in people's minds. And I ran across a book at Half Price Books, an autobiography of a woman by the name of Betty Comden. Now, you probably, if you read the thing before and earlier, you said, maybe, who is that? I don't remember this UU person. Well, I don't think she was a UU person, but I think she was in her, by her activities or actions would have been very good here. I'm a bit of a theater geek, have loved those stories, and I'm really always interested in the creative people who help put those things together and about them. And I knew you, I think, might, in that standpoint, know who Betty Comden is. I don't know, just out of a raise of hands, has anybody ever seen the movie Singing in the Rain? We got almost everybody here. Well, she and her partner Adolph Green wrote the screenplay for that. They did music for Wonderful Town and On the Town, which were both Leonard Bernstein's early things. I don't know if anybody grew up here watching Peter Pan, but when Jerome Robbins had decided he would put that on Broadway, he said it needs more songs, so he brought in Betty Comden and Adolph Green and Cy Coleman, who's written a lot of music, and they added some additional things, Neverland and a couple of other songs on through there. And I've enjoyed her work so much. She had worked, and they were doing shows into the up into the 1980s, and it's quite good. They also did, for anybody who likes old movies, they did the old Fred Astaire movie, Bandwagon, and they wrote the book and for that. So I read, and then as the book closed, she said that these are things that I've learned and that I would like to know about people. And I can't do this. I can't, I haven't received any messages from God, but I read them and I thought, well, they are perfect. And I thought this was a really good place to share those. And so what we have is the Gospel according to Betty Comden. And I think one of the things that's so very nice about this is that these are not those shall nots, but these are lots of those shall be's. And verse 1, and she clearly makes the case that it's the most important one, is kindness. And we find interesting sayings. As I was looking up some things, Elke Summer, the actress, I was surprised, said something that I thought was pretty wise. She says, you can never know the ripple effect you create with one tiny gesture of kindness. And I think that's somewhat of what we are talking about here. We also see that, as Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said, people never remember any of that, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And at the root of that, I think, is often kindness, but I think at the root of kindness is compassion. And that's what I think we strive to put up for ourselves. The next commandment, on through here, and here is, thou shalt be considerate. And as I thought, well, should that go up there? And I thought, oh yeah, how nice it's been. I know that people will walk in and walk out of our lives, but the one whose footstep made the longest lasting impression is the one you should never allow to walk out. And we find that being considerate of others will take your children further in life than any college degree. And I thought, yes, this is what, by our joining, by our sending out, and our kindness may come out as consideration, and the person will appreciate that because it makes them feel understood, and it makes them really wish that there were more occasions like this. More flowers here. And this is, thou shalt be courteous. Now notice how these all fit like different fingers of a glove, that being courteous and being kind, I don't know, I've been out, I don't know if you've ever had the occasion where you've been out to a restaurant and somebody maybe you just met, they're real nasty to the help, and you think, why are they doing that? They were just working, and it makes me want to not spend time with them, I've come to find. And what we find is another saying by Angelou, by Maya Angelou, each of us, famous or infamous, is a role model for somebody, and if we aren't, we should be. And we should behave as though we are one, cheerful, kind, loving, courteous, because you can be sure that someone is watching you and taking deliberate and diligent notes. Thou shalt be understanding. I don't know if you've ever had any difficulties in your life. Sometimes it was hard if it's something that felt personal, or perhaps you felt guilty about, or you felt like it was your fault. It's often hard to get that understanding. And I found a most interesting quote. I was surprised where I got it, but this actually comes from Proverbs, and this is the King James Version. It says, get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love thee, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace. a crown of glory shall deliver to thee. This is what I think you felt, what I felt. I will just say this, what I felt when I was able to say something, and that person really seemed to understand. It like opened up avenues. It was great. So those are the kinds of things that those touches of kindness, those touchings of being heard, make a great deal of difference. Thou shalt be forgiving. Well, almost everybody, all the quotes that I would find, and as I was looking through them, sort of talked about what you give from forgiveness. It's clearly nice when you feel like you've wronged somebody and that you've been able to apologize, make up for it, and get it. But I think it often helps that life doesn't often work out that way, especially if we have to deal with it. As the saying says, when you forgive, you in no way can change the past, but you sure do change the future. Thou shalt be truthful. Well, that sort of goes along with these other things. There's two quotes here that I thought went sort of hand in hand. Honesty is the first chapter in the Book of Wisdom by Thomas Jefferson. The truth is more important than the facts, Frank Lloyd Wright. I think in many cases of the heart, that certainly is the case. Now, these are the things that I began to think, what makes a really good person? And one of those things is enthusiasm. But I have to tell you, as I was reading, there were a lot of people who said, oh, nothing's worse than an enthusiastic person. They tend to wear you out. But I think the idea is just think how often you have met somebody who is enthusiastic about a project and you like being around them. You feel energized too, maybe not about what they were thinking, but what they were doing. And how that made you feel. It made you feel like that life was worth living. And I think that's one of the things. I mean, as gardeners, when we look at the flowers and we say, oh, how pretty they are, it's like making you worthwhile to get up in the morning. And I think when you run across people who are enthusiastic, that they will do. Dwayne Johnson, the actor, said, which I really thought was interesting, that attitude and enthusiasm play a big part in my life. I get excited about the things that inspire me. I also believe in laughing and having a good time. So along with that enthusiasm comes that thou shalt be inquiring. It's not enough to just want to know, it's going after that information in terms of particular things. It makes a great deal of difference, and just as I think enthusiasm often spikes us for other things, so does keeping that mind inquiring and open. Tony Roberts, the motivation expert, said this, and I was surprised to use it, but I thought it was It was very good. Cultivate curiosity. If you really want to grow in your lifetime, learn to be as inquisitive as a child. Curious people are never bored, and for them, life becomes an unending study of love. And this is one of my favorite of Betty's things. Thou shalt be fun. And again, it would be stupid to say that all situations, we can think of the horrible things that are happening and what people are having to undergo. But if we don't have fun, especially while we can have it, then that will make us, it kills us, I think. I love this little quote: you don't stop having fun when you get old when you stop having fun. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. And our final vow here: thou shalt be kind. Kindness is extremely important, and I think we can say that a second time, and I don't mind that. I love this quote from Mark Twain: kindness is the language that the deaf can hear and that the blind can see. So today, what we will do, I hope this has given you some ideas to think about in terms of sharing what it means to be in this community and how valuable that can be. And that it can be valuable as it goes out to the people. People here who are not in can be encouraged by the fact that perhaps this is a place where they find kindred souls. And I think most of us who have been here, I certainly have, finding those kindred souls was a blessing that I am so proud to have found. It's almost my 5-year anniversary here of being a member, and I've talked to so many other people, and they feel very much as I do, but I think it's because of this being the community. So what we're going to be doing is, these flowers represent for both us here as well as for the people who are not here, our friends, a number, that there are values. And what we're going to do at the end of the service, we normally will play the closing music. People will sit here, but we would like to have you use that opportunity to come up and pick a flower up, but take a different flower. The value of that is, somebody else has come and has said, this is my kindness, this is what I wish that I would have more understanding people. This are the signals, these are the ideas that here. There's a song, you may know it, a Louis Armstrong song, where he said, "A Wonderful World." And in it he says that people coming by saying, "How do you do?" What in fact they're saying is, "I love you." Remember, the truth cannot sometimes be told completely. It must be told scant. And now we're going to be having our offertory. And if you have the opportunity to give, we appreciate that so much. We like to use your prayer and and any monies that you can donate, that way we're able to keep our lights on and all those other mundane things that have to go. If you can't, if not today, then you can do this through scanning through PayPal or for Cash App. We will use these gifts. We will use these gifts wisely, or may we use them wisely in service of our congregation and our community. And we want to thank you for that very, very much. It is very much appreciated. Now we are asking that if you have any questions about Unitarian Universalism or about joining the congregation, we please ask to speak with members of the membership team. They'll even talk to you about something else. Are there people here who are members of that? We've got, we've got them scattered around, so you can come and talk with them. And also, if you're, I think Roxanne raised her hand, but she's also the president of the board and would love to tell you all about how we plan to do the financing for the walls that are outside for the new highway that's coming in. So you'll enjoy that talk. Let's look at, we have on through here, if in terms of community news, our current ways of finding that out are through our website, uucbg.org. The nice thing is if you want to reach anybody, you can use the email at uucbg. For example, if you write president, it would end up going to Roxanne. If we talk with some other donations or whatever, it should be found. We also, if you want to get the weekly emails, you can please contact the office, and there are also sites there for the Facebook, the bulletin board out here is good, but the nice thing about doing that online with the weekly emails is that you can then have pretty much in terms of detail of what that is. Now, here's community news today. As you probably, hopefully all know, we're going to have a potluck picnic, except it's the picnic portion of it's going to be in the fellowship. The weather turned out to be a little bit iffy. We didn't want people to get wet or too sweaty that they would enjoy that. And so as soon as we finish, we're still on time, so as soon as we finish, we should hop on over with your flowers and come over and gather food. As other community news that's coming up, next Sunday will be a congregational meeting. Business will be discussed. This will be next Sunday, June the 9th. 3 board of director positions will be voted on during that meeting, and lunch will be provided, so please come on. And next week, Reverend Dr. Deanie Oliver is going to be talking about the Wheel of Life, and she has been asking for people to send in pictures that might be from the milestones of their life. So we expect lots of cute pictures from when you were in grade school, and because we'll have a guess, and none of the names are going to be revealed of who these people are. If you couldn't guess, those will be revealed during the meeting, so it's worth coming just to hear all of that. And now we will have our last reading. I like to see this as perhaps a epilogue to our whole service. Again, this will be read by Roxanne Spencer.
Spring by Rumi. Again the violet bows to the lily. Again the rose is tearing off her gown. The green ones have come from the other world, tipsy like the breeze up to some new foolishness. Again, near the top of the mountain, the anemone's sweet features appear. The hyacinth speaks formally to the jasmine. Peace be with you, and peace to you, lad. Come walk with me in the meadow. Again, there are Sufis everywhere. The bud is shy, but the wind removes her veil suddenly. My friend! The friend is here like water in the stream, like a lotus on the water. The narcissus winks at the wisteria. Whenever you say. And the clove to the willow, you are the one I hope for. The willow replies, consider these chambers of mine yours. Welcome. The apple, orange, why the frown? So that those who mean harm will not see my beauty. The ringdove comes asking, where is the friend? With one note, the nightingale indicates the rose. Again, the season of spring has come, and a spring source rises under everything, a moon sliding from the shadows. Many things must be left unsaid because it is late. But whatever conversation we haven't had tonight, we'll have tomorrow.
At this point, we're going to say farewell to our online friends. I wish that you were here to participate with the last of us. But I want you to think about that flower that I asked you to bring in. That flower has picked up lots of meanings, and those meanings are telegraphed from us to you. So please consider that as you think about that flower. We hope that you found the service meaningful, and we invite you to join us again, either in person or online. Be well and go in peace.